Thank you. You may be seated, please. Hello again, and greetings to you from the Robinson's Doctor of Business Programs, Cohort 2026. I'm going to break the protocol here. There's one person who is missing in the stage here, my good friend, Dr. Louis Grabowski. Please stand. For a lot of you, he has the better days here as a retired officer, and thank you so much, Lou, for being here. And to families and your guests, both here and some are joining us virtually, so thank you for joining us. My name is Charles Danaraj. I'm the academic director for the GSU Robinson's DBA program. Along with my team, we have Senior Associate Dean, Dr. Todd Maurer, whom I report to, Todd, and we have Associate Director, George Valeos, and Assistant Director, Brian Amaro. We all welcome you. Today we celebrate the completion of the program. Do you know how many times this is? This is the 15th year. Very special, isn't it? This is the 15th cohort, the class of 2026. Hard to believe. We started about 17 years with a very special person here, Dr. Lars Mathiasen. Lars, would you mind standing? Please give a nice round of applause. He started the program and recruited our first class. And I keep telling our class, you are a unique species. You know that, right? You think about it, you bring multiple decades of leadership experience and you combine it with the research skills you have earned in the last 3 years, and you're developing some innovative insights which I hope will solve real-world problems as you go along. And that's why we celebrate you. Congratulations. Curiosity is what brought you here, right? Most of your colleagues had busy lives. You had one as well. But you were not satisfied. Curiosity is what brought you here. And what got you through was discipline, right? Think about all the courses that you did and all the hard work that you had to put, the late nights, the weekends, early mornings, right? And tenacity. If I ask a show of hands, everyone's hands will go up because every one of you have had some setbacks, personal, family, professional, but you soldiered on. That's what we call tenacity. And guys and girls, that's why we celebrate you. So this is a very special day. Before we go on, let me introduce some of our very special guests. Now, I would like you to please stand when your name is called, and audience, hold your applause until all the names have been read. We have very special guests, as you can see, Dr. Richard Phillips, Dean of Robinson College of Business, Georgia State University. This is the 10th graduation for this season he's attending. So think about that, yeah? And Dr. Sergio Quinones Romandia, our own graduate of DBA program. 10 years back, he graduated 2016, and now he's back here as our commencement speaker. Please welcome our special guest. You know, this program lives or dies by the type of faculty engaged in the program. Would you agree? And that's why I want to recognize our faculty. They play a key role as dissertation advisors, committee members, teachers, and guide you through. Let me introduce those who are here by alphabetical order. If you don't mind, please stand, and then you can face the audience, and we'll clap together. Dr. Richard Baskerville, Professor, Department of CIS. Dr. Greg Gimp, I can't stop the clap. So they are so enamored. So that's fine. Dr. Greg Gimple, Clinical Associate Professor, CIS Department. Dr. Cecilia Gu, who's very special because as of now, she moves from Associate Professor to Professor, Institute of International Business. And Dr. Wes Johnson, Professor Emeritus, Department of Marketing. And Dr. Dikobe Maruping, Director of the PhD program and Professor CIS. And Dr. Lars Mathiasen, GRA Eminent Scholar, Department of CIS, and the founding academic director of the program. Dr. Todd Maurer, Senior Associate Dean of Faculty and Research, as well as University Distinguished Professor, Department of Management. And Dr. Nanette Napier, Associate Chair and Clinical Professor, Department of CIS. And Dr. Satish Nagunkar, Assistant Dean for the MBA programs and Clinical Professor of Management. And Dr. Sab Samadar, Professor, Department of Management. Yeah. And Dr. Peter Zhang, Department Chair and Professor of Department of Management. These are the people who make our program live. In fact, I've been in about 7 different institutions and I've seen multiple programs. People ask, what's the key success? Why we are on the top of this industry? These are the people, ladies and gentlemen. Please give them this applause. Thank you. Let me, please be seated. Next, let me introduce the staff and the team that makes it happen. I mean, we stand in front of the classroom, people see us, but most of the time you never get to see the real people who make it happen. Today it is happening because of the team that's working behind the scene. Let me introduce our George Vallejos, who you heard, all the commander-in-chief, the outside, yeah, George, Associate Director of the program. Brianna Murrah, Assistant Director of Marketing Communications. This is very special for her. This is her second graduation. We threw her in the lake last time and she did a wonderful job. So thank you. And we have 2 of our GRAs here. Krishna Kohli, GRA from Computer Engineering, and Meganj Shrege. Yeah. Thank you, team, for making this all happen. In addition to all our advisors and staff, I'd like to recognize those students and alumni that have joined us today. We have quite a few alumni here. I see Katrina. I can see some of the people. So if you wouldn't mind, if you're an alumni, please would you mind standing? Yeah, Lou, you included. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. This is the ecosystem you are in, and that makes this program successful. And thank you so much. And I want to introduce now the dean of our program. In fact, no program is ever a success or a flying color like this without a dean's support. And we are very privileged to have Dean Richard Phillips with us. It's my pleasure to invite him to say a few words. Let me say a few words about him for many of you who may not have a chance to have read his bio. Dr. Richard Phillips is the 7th Dean of Georgia State University's Mac Robinson College of Business since 2014. Before his appointment as Dean, Dr. Phillips was Robinson's Associate Dean for Academic Initiatives and Innovation. So he has been innovator at heart right from the first day one. Chair of the Maurice Greenberg School of Risk Science for 7 years, from 2006 to 2012. An economist, I won't hold it against you, Rich. An economist, Dr. Phillips' research interests are the impact of risk. You hear it all over, and this is what he has lived all his life along. Impact of risk on corporate decision-making, as well as efficient functioning of the insurance markets. And that's his specialty. And for that, for some of the research that he has done, he has twice received what we call as the Robert Moore Award, given to authors of scholarly papers with the greatest impact on the field of risk and insurance in the decade before publication. That's Dr. Phillips. And one more thing, beyond the university, Dr. Phillips is also a corporate director. He's a corporate director of Munich American Reassurance Corporation, as well as the past president of the American Risk and Insurance Association and Risk Theory Society. So he straddles the quintessential, the two worlds of academia and the practice. He serves on the board of the World Affairs Council of Atlanta, as well as he's the chair emeritus of the Swift School, one of the Georgia's largest private schools serving dyslexic children. So in the social sphere also he has been active. He holds a doctoral and master's degree in managerial economics from the Wharton School of University, Pennsylvania. As an undergraduate degree in mathematics from the University of Minnesota. Please welcome Dean Phillips.
Good afternoon. There you go. There's a faculty member that knows what it's like to get a good howdy how. Thank you, Charles, for that nice introduction. I appreciate being here today and being invited. And as Charles said a minute ago, this is my 10th graduation ceremony in the past 8 days, not that I'm counting. But I will say that I've saved the best for last, and I'll tell you why as we go. Because I remember my own hooding. I don't remember much about my master's degree conferral, and I don't remember much about my undergraduate degree conferral, but I do remember my PhD hooding. Because earning a doctorate is really one of the most meaningful achievements of my career, and I'm sure for you, it's a milestone that you've certainly been working for, not just probably the past 3 years, but perhaps even longer than that. So trust me when I say this is a moment that you won't soon forget. Now, was it hard work for me to get a PhD? You bet. Was it hard work for you to get a PhD? Absolutely. I'm sure that you pushed all of yourselves, because unlike me, I was a full-time student with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at home. You, all of you, I think, have full-time careers and likely spouses, partners, children, other things that you're doing as well. And so you've gone the distance in a very different time of life from which I did. And so I want to say congratulations to all of you for getting here. Your achievement marks the culmination of 3 years of rigorous study, inquiry, and personal growth. You've mastered advanced research methodologies, you've gained insight into complex business problems, and you've developed capabilities that few business professionals will ever attain. And your work matters, it will endure. As one measure of that impact, the dissertations produced by the 230 alumni of the 14 prior DBA cohorts have now been downloaded more than 300,000 times. That's a powerful legacy, and your work will extend it even further. And make no mistake, you are impressive. You are leaders, you're innovators, you're C-suite executives, some of you are entrepreneurs and founders. Some of you are faculty members at other institutions, some of you are public servants. You are shaping industries and sectors, including manufacturing, technology, finance, healthcare, engineering, government, and real estate. You're impacting startups, Fortune 500 firms, public institutions, and global enterprises. And you arrive at this point in your career, as we said just a minute ago, at the very apex of your careers. Now, having earned the highest academic degree available in the study of business, to the practice of business, which you've all been in for decades. That's a remarkable achievement. So what lies ahead for you? Well, to answer that, I took a look back just about 100 years ago. In 1925, another business school dean, James Russell of Columbia University, stood at a similar crossroads that we are at today. In his era, new technologies were transforming industries in 1925. Social institutions were evolving, And just like today, the role of higher education itself was under debate. In that moment of profound change, Dean Russell offered a vision for professional education that I think still resonates today, and perhaps even more powerfully so. At that time, Dean Russell said, quote, "On our best days, we produce men and women released for trained leadership, free from the bias of creed, free from the blight of pseudoscience, free from the curse of the mere technician. Practitioners imbued, we trust, with the university ideals of culture, of service, and of public devotion." Now that's a stirring aspiration, and it's a challenge. Because Dean Russell's quote reminds us that education at its best is not about securing a credential or to get the next job. It's about preparing leaders who think critically, act ethically, and serve selflessly. It's not about ideologues or technicians. It's about creating principled professionals who understand the difference between authority and wisdom, between information and insight, all grounded by data and evidence. At Robinson, we have sought to prepare you in this same tradition. We have taught you that leadership derives not solely from the statutory authority that may come with a position, but instead from the moral authority that's demonstrated through your decisions, your actions, and your commitments to values. And now, just like Dean Russell, we find ourselves in another era of transformation. Early predictions suggested that the introduction of ChatGPT and other conversational LLMs might have an impact on the labor market to reduce, let's say, by 30% of the work hours done by people today be done by machines. Since then, we've seen other changes in the labor market that suggest maybe those estimates were wrong. What I can tell you is that it's safe to say that the changes ahead will be as unfamiliar as they will be profound on business and society. So the tools today are new, and the pressures that we all feel are real. But the core challenge that we're dealing with today is timeless. It was the same in Dean Russell's time as it is today. And that challenge is to lead wisely in uncertain times. And that's where you come in. As doctors of business administration, you are now uniquely positioned to lead at the intersection of rigorous inquiry, ethical responsibility, and technological transformation. You have the capability and the credibility to guide organizations through complexity, not with fear, but with clarity and evidence-based conviction. How you choose to use that capability will determine not just your own legacy, but business's broader impact on society going forward. This is a time that calls for leaders in the spirit of Dean Russell, leaders who are free from bias, pseudoscience, and the narrowness, those that are guided by ideals of culture, service, and of public devotion. So please, lead with courage, lead with empathy, lead with purpose, and lead often because the world needs you to. So in closing, I encourage you to remain connected through the Center for Engaged Business Research with your cohort, with your advisors, and the broader DBA community. Your connection to this community will continue to be a source of strength, renewal, and inspiration for you, and you will do likewise for others. So let me be the first to say, congratulations on earning your doctorate of business administration degree. I look forward to staying in touch with each of you and watching as your leadership leaves a lasting imprint on the organizations, communities, and the futures that we will all shape together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Phillips. The moment you were waiting for. Have you seen the knights being hooded? That's where we get this hooting ceremony from, right? So you're going to, let me give a few logistic part. Like when your name is called, first we would invite your advisor. So your advisor will come and you will follow your name, it will be called, and you stand on the mark that is out there. The temptation for you is to face your advisor. Don't. You face the audience, right? Because they're basically going to bring this to you, right? So face the audience and you'll get hooded. And once you're done, you'll have a picture taken and then you move on the other side. Okay? With the dean, you'll have the picture and then you'll get, after we finish the whole ceremony, we'll have a full picture outside. That'll be after the one. So after you finish, you go return to your seat and be seated. Okay, that's the part. Got it? Let's begin. Dr. Philip, would you mind? Yeah. Okay, Dr. Baskerville. Dr. Richard Baskerville. Yeah, we have Dr. Carson Funderburg. And you can see his dissertation title up there. Richard, you should be on that. Congratulations, Dr. Funderburg. Under Dr. Baskerville, Sarita Watts. Congratulations, Dr. Watts. Dr. Greg Gimble. And under his advice, we have Dr. Paragnasu Alex Simda. Congratulations, Dr. Simda. Dr. Cecilia Gu. And we have Seth Spurlock. Congratulations, Dr. Spurlock. Dr. Wes Johnson. And under his advice, Mohammed Humayun. Congratulations, Dr. Humayun. Dr. Dikoibe Moriping. Under his advice, Bertrand Abo. Congratulations, Dr. Abo. And Tamara Jackson. Congratulations, Dr. Jackson. Dr. Todd Maurer. Under his guidance, Deborah Bloom. Congratulations, Dr. Bloom. Dr. Nanette Napier. Under her guidance, Susan Haynes. Congratulations, Dr. Haynes. Dr. Satish Nargunkar. Under his guidance, Brittany Wells. Congratulations, Dr. Wells. May I say, this is her second doctoral degree. Dr. Sabsa Madar. Under his guidance, Shyam Dasari. Congratulations, Dr. Dasari. And one more under Dr. Sub's guidance, Mario Gonzalez Segura. Congratulations, Dr. Gonzalez Segura. Dr. Peter Zhang. Under his guidance, Dwayne Roche. Congratulations, Dr. Roche. Yeah. And one more under Dr. Zhang's advice, Jessel Subero. Congratulations, Dr. Subero. And one under me, Josie Sebastian. One round of applause for these wonderful people. Wow. What a joy to see them all through. That's wonderful. And I'll come back, but I wanted to hear from one of our graduates. Our commencement speaker is a very special person, Dr. Sergio Quinones Romandia, one of our first graduate student in the DBA program from outside the country. One of the first. You set the precedence for many more to come. And he's our special speaker. He graduated in 2016, so it's a decade since he graduated, so you can hear from him. And let me give a few snapshots of Dr. Quinones. Very accomplished, DBA, but he's also having a family business, inherited from the father and developed it phenomenally high in Mexico. And with the doctoral degree, he's one who has taken on and applied it to the core of the business. In fact, he will have more to say about how it has influenced his family, his business, and all. He also has a MA and Master's in International Marketing and a BS in Business Administration from ITESO, Universidad Jesuita Guadalajara. He's currently the board chairman of the family business and also the chief financial officer. ANSA Agro, agricultural business. It's a lot in the trading, in the international trading side, and a postdoctoral research associate for our own Center for Engaged Business Research at Georgia State University, Robinson College. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Quinones Romandia.
Good afternoon, doctors. Yes, finally you get to call yourself doctors. You earned it. 3 years ago, when you announced that you were enrolling in the DBA program, I'm sure many people in your lives asked the same question. Why? Why spend $100,000 on a doctoral degree? Why spend your free time reading endless papers, learning statistics, that damn science you swore in high school you will never use it again? Why sacrifice your golf, your tennis, your family time, straining your eyes, losing sleep, and even testing your mental health. Why? I'm sure they ask you, co-workers, bosses, golf buddies, beer buddies, why? And their looks, their expressions made you question your decision. In Japan, there is a saying, I believe, every applicant to this program should remember to overcome these doubts. Deru kugi wa utaeru. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Remember always, you were and are the nail that sticks out. From the moment you took this big step and enrolled in the program, you stood out. And most of the time, your context, your environment, your social circle became the hammer. It happened to me. It happened to you, I'm sure of it. When I announced my decisions to the board of directors and my company, my father asked me the same question. He was the chairman of the board, partially retired at the time, and I was serving as CFO. He said, you are in your 40s. You have many responsibilities at work, so why a doctoral program? And I bet many of you gave the same answer I did. I don't know. I just need to do it. But I also believe that each of you had that special, important, transcendental person in your life who didn't ask you why, but instead told you, go for it, you deserve it, you can do it. In my case, that person was my wife. She came with me to the interview, which at times felt more like an interrogation. She was there with me at the airport when I received my acceptance letter, where Lars and Mauri informed me that I had been proudly sentenced to join the program. And 2 weeks later, after 18 years of marriage, she gave me another life-changing piece of news. We were expecting a doctoral baby. It's over there. I'm sure many of you faced significant challenges or life events that made this DBA journey even more intense, and yet you persevered. COVID, financial crisis, wars. You are graduating in tumultuous time, my friends. In fact, things are so rough right now that Robinson had to outsource the keynote speaker job to a Mexican. Seriously, you may not know this, but part of the achievement of earning your doctorate is, without even realizing it, became silent leaders. When I returned from my graduation, the managerial team invited me to a work lunch. They invited me to ask me why. By then, I had a more polished answer. From that group of 7 managers, 1 went back to finish his bachelor's degree, 2 got their master's degrees, and 1 enrolled in a DBA program in Guadalajara. So yes, some people may ask why and look at you with skepticism, but many will follow. Now, I'd like to finish with another short anecdote, Victor, because cocktails are waiting. After I graduate and return home with my degree, and I admit, a slightly inflated ego, I went straight to my LinkedIn profile. Finally, I could put the word doctor before my name. And I did. Then I went to check my cohort's profile. None of them had updated theirs. None of them had added doctor to their names. And I thought, why? After 3 years, all that money, all that time away from your family, and you are hesitant to acknowledge an achievement that so few people ever accomplish? But then, after a week, slowly they began to update the profiles. Maybe they saw mine. Maybe they just needed time to grow into their achievement. A few months later, most of them had made the change and started calling themselves doctors. So why I'm telling you this? Because I want to emphasize this. Be proud. You accomplished something extraordinary. You did something remarkable. You balanced life, work, family, and graduate school for 3 long years. And you persevered. Be proud because you are doctors now. Thank you for letting me be part of this great day.
Viviana, Valentina, would you mind standing up? Huh? Thank you, Sergio. That was fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just wanted to put before you a poster child for you, right? Someone who had continued on his research. In fact, 3 conferences I have been to. Every conference I see EdBack conference that I see Sergio with a paper or with a poster, and continues to be an active in all the university infrastructure in Mexico and connecting the worlds of academia and the theory and the practice world. That's what you are made for, right? I mean, it's nice to have the DR in front of you. I'm sure you didn't waste your 3 years just to get that 3-letter, DR dot in front of you, right? It's a lot of, we are expecting a lot out of you. As thought leaders, your ideas will shape a society. One small thing that you will do in your sphere of influence that will make a better world for all. That's our hope. It can be a publication, it can be a TED Talk, it can be a board. Somewhere you take the ideas because the world needs to connect with the insights. We cannot live too long living in one ivory tower, ideas reside, never to find its marketplace, and the market suffering. So you are here to build this important mission. Thank you for being that. I think that's what Dean Russell's vision was, and you come in to fill that important space to make it happen. I know this would not have happened if it was not for one group of people around you. Can I request the family members to stand? People who sacrificed afternoons, late nights, and let you do your work. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making this. Would you give them, please, you stand and turn around and give them the applause, please. Yeah. Thank you very much. And indeed, once again, all the faculty, the advisors, the program team, without that, this would not have happened. Thank you so much for this. And we have a special reception following this, so please be sure we can join and celebrate along. And graduates, we call it commencement. Did you hear that? It's not a closure. It's a commencement of your journey, right? So we hope you have taken all this and go through this. In fact, I remember going through this Boeing shop floor. It's a magnificent scene to see a plane being built. Can you imagine that? The huge one, it comes together. And imagine after all the plane is built, park it in the inventory yard and just polish it every day. That would be a travesty of resources, right? What you have is you are born to soar, to fly. And that's what I hope you will. A decade from now, I hope we can see some of you in this auditorium celebrating the great success that you have had. And that's our friend, once again, congratulations. So, of course, I wanted to say what Lou would say. Now you can put your feet up. And if your advisor calls you, you can say, not now. Right? Enjoy, celebrate. And a few important housekeeping items before we dismiss are Please follow the recession line to leave the theater and go. We have a group photo together. And then the family and the rest, please join us for a reception outside. And we have a RSVP only dinner after that, very close hereby. So once again, thank you, Dean, for joining us, and thank you, Sergio, for flying all the way from Mexico and with the family and faculty, families, and staff. Thank you.